G'day everyone, welcome to today's video. My name is James, welcome back to my channel. Welcome if you are new, look what just came in the mail. It's a bit late to be doing a planner unboxing for 2020. We're only more than halfway through at this point. But the other day, let's just get settled. I'm going to be very chatty in this. It's going to be long, it's going to be rambly. I don't even know what the video is going to be about. I just knew that I got this in the mail, I've quickly opened it up, and I want to unbox it for you and just kind of explain where I'm at on my Hobonichi journey. So, let's just do that. I got this in the mail. The other day I ordered it probably, I want to say like 8-9 days ago, and it came from Japan. This, I didn't really know what this was. I think it was just like a free gift with purchase. Still don't kind of know what it is. They're like little cards with some writing on them and then some little doodles on there. I think it's supposed to be like a daily kind of thing for 100 days or something. I don't know. They're really cute, but I don't think I could put them in my Hobonichi because it's quite thin paper and these are really thick, like card. So these are for something at some point. This is what I got. Look how tiny it is, isn't it so cute? Came in the biggest mailer I've ever seen, so bit of overkill there, but that is one thing I remember about Japan is packaging on packaging on packaging. This is my new Hobonichi Techo 2020. The original, this is actually the avec. This is the original size, the A6. It is teeny tiny. Look, that's my hand, and I have small hands, so it's really small. This is July to December. I'm so curious. I have to get this out because this is the first time I've opened it. It's not even out of the package yet. Let's just open it up out of the package. Oh, cute. Little stickers. Use those for something. This, I wanted to order because I've just been having this secret yearning to consolidate. And now is the time when Hobonichi start doing all of their previews for next year, so I actually thought I'd better give this a quick go before I commit to buying anything for next year. I was also this close to buying the fluffy cover that comes for these books, but I didn't do that. I'm not saying I won't though. But this is a 2021 and it's for July to December. How curious. Tells you a bit about Hobonichi there. Yeah, it's tiny. It's so tiny, and it's the avec, which just means it's like half, because typically these will be like the, I've been using an A5, oh, I'm just so scattered, I want to talk about everything all at once. Let's just start from the beginning. A few years ago, when's this, December 2018, I fell down a very steep rabbit hole of watching everyone do their Hobonichi orders and unboxings for the next year's planners. So for everyone doing 2019, they had ordered it at the end of 2018 and I was watching all these unboxings and I was very influenced. So congratulations, influencers. I just really wanted to be a part of the gang. It was such a fun style to watch. It was like kind of documenting, like you're scrapbooking, but you're also sketching, and there was art involved, and people do all their journaling different ways, but obviously it being a Japanese brand, I mean, Japanese synonymous with quality in the stationery world, so I thought, yeah, I could get on this bandwagon, but before I did, I like to be a, I don't know, what do you call it? A bit of an educated consumer. Not so much to know if what I was buying was quality, because I'm sure it was, but I like to educate myself or feel informed. I'm an informed consumer, which means I had to kind of test it for myself because I didn't want to commit spending money on something that I felt like I wouldn't use in a specific way. If my expectations were all set up to be a part of that Hobonichi community and do it the way that I was seeing it done, I didn't want to just buy it and think that it would happen, because it's typically not the case. You do have to commit to whatever whatever you're thinking you're going to commit to in your head at the time. So I decided to take one of these Midori MD paper 10th anniversary journals, and I put it as a Hobonichi. So I thought, well, this is kind of as close as I could get to what I'm thinking. And it was one of the styles that I thought I wouldn't really get much use out of. It had this grid over here and it had a margin on the right and then the bottom. And I said, well, I can use this and I'll see if I deserve it. Like, I'll see if I earned the right to have a Hobonichi, like a real one, spend money on it. But anyway, I was doing it and I absolutely loved it. And then over time, because it's so hard to explain if you're not working in like the art journaling community. It's always seems so foreign, but I think any one of my peers would agree that you've got like journals that you have to use for demonstrating in because there's a certain type of paper, and then you've got journals that you do personal things in, then you've got planners that you're planning in, and then I mean I guess everyone kind of goes at that too. I'm looking at you planner community, you all have like 65 planners and then one planner to plan them all in. So I guess you do kind of understand what I'm saying, but it was all scattered everywhere. So this was weekly. You could see I was doing weeks around Christmas. I was doing photos, illustrations, little watercolors here and there. It was actually working really, really well for me. I was doing weight tracking in there as well. So these are pages you cannot see. Plot twist. I gained more weight since then. Oh, it's terrible. It just stares back at you, all those goals that you had years ago. Anyway, my goal of actually committing to this was successful, and so I was really happy about that. I tried different layout styles every week. I would try different illustration styles, just different things, because I hadn't really worked like this before as far as having a lot of written documentation and visual documentation happening in the same place consistently. So this was much of a dedicated journal to that process, and I really, really loved it. I did find though, as I went on, when I became busier with other projects or I was in other journals, it became really hard to come back to this all the time. So it wasn't so much weekly, and then it turned into wheneverly. So whenever I was getting to it, I would get to it. So this was January 22nd to February 3rd, obviously a little bit more than a week there, but I would still keep up with it, which was nice. I'm finding that right now though, I don't keep up with this wheneverly journal because I have a new one. This one's finished. This one's been finished. Absolutely love it. Even like documented, like there's 10 pages. All of this is on my YouTube channel. This is my trip to Australia. I did all of this on my channel. I would glue every other page together so that it was a bit more sturdy, and so that I knew that I was going to be gluing a lot of stuff in here, so I didn't want to bulk it up too much where it would bust the spine. So essentially I halved the book, much for the same reason I bought an Avec. It's like half a Hobonichi. It just gives you freedom to put your washi tapes in there, get a bit of glitter glue in there, get your collage in there, your stickers. I don't want to restrict myself from all of that, so this was great. Absolutely love it. Couldn't rave highly enough about it. Had a fantastic time, and then right at the end I said to myself, great, well I don't need another, well I mean I don't need to buy a Hobonichi because this has been working, and you shouldn't, change what isn't broken, right? So I gave myself a new wheneverly journal. So then I used this one, which is a dot grid, and it's really beautiful, and I'm using it kind of exactly the same way that I was using the other one, except I committed to it being whenever. So some are just literal days, some are a bit longer of a time period. So this is 3 days, and then others are just like, that's a 1 day kind of a thing, and then some are weeks at a time. It's random, but I was really liking it. I just think I had so much going on with all of my other stuff that I found this wasn't, I wasn't quick to grab this. And I think it's because I had actually purposed it so purposefully that I had to separate my time for this. Like now there was an intention for it to be this kind of documentation, art meets writing, but I just didn't, I don't know, I couldn't commit to it because I just didn't have enough time in the week to be able to do that. Especially because around 2000, so I should have said, I did join the Hobonichi family, but I did it with a Hobonichi 5-year techo. So this, let me show you that, because this was kind of the gateway for me. This cover here is a chic sparrow. Oh, sorry, I knocked the camera there. I'll just move this a touch. This cover is a Chic Sparrow A5 Deluxe Fraser Red Outlander. Love it. Beautiful. Mine's all dinged up, but I like that. It's got lots of character. Red's my favorite color too, as you could probably tell. I've even documented it in here. This is, you can see here. That's when I said I was going to buy this. It's great. I have the date and everything. Oh, look, there it is. So that was from the website. I documented that I was going to purchase the 5-year journal, and this is because I didn't have anything similar to this. This was kind of my gateway into Hobonichi. I chose the A6 size because I thought it's just too big to have another A5 journal. Too much space. I think I just want to daily write in a few things that happen, write my feelings, maybe just a quote. But yeah, their little ad for choosing a 5-year Hobonichi really got me when they said, you know, think back on the last 5 years, how much has happened, and imagine if you'd kept track of it to go through and relive all those memories. And I was, at the time, I was thinking of all the things that had happened in the previous 5 years, and I was just sucked in, like, immediately. So I had to have it. Having it's one thing, using it's another. But I've actually kept up with it, and this is my second year in it, so it's been fantastic. It is something you have to commit to though, and if you miss bunches of days at a time, it's completely fine. Sometimes I'll just go back in there and draw in there, or sometimes I'll just put quotes, or just leave it for a hot minute and come back next year. You've got 5 years to finish it, so I believe in you. But I document little things that happen, feelings sometimes. I'm not so much one of those like, this is my feelings journal, this is my, you know, my vitamins journal, this is my whatever. I'll put anything anywhere, but typically I write about the events that had happened and how I feel about some of it, especially if it's like, if I'm trying to process through it. But a lot of it is also actually just logging some of the successes and the joys that I have, because I do have a problem of not stopping to celebrate successes. So I find this a really good way to kind of take stock of where I'm at, what I'm up to, and especially love about the 5-year journal is that I can go back and then year to year compare and contrast what happened this exact time last year. So it's like your Facebook time hop, but just analog. It's not digital, which is really nice. Sometimes I put photos in here and stick little washi bits in here. I try not to though, because this is so thick, I don't want to bust the spine. So this is almost as thick as it was when it came. It's a little bit chunkier, but for the most part we're doing really, really well with the binding. So I won't stress it too much. There are a few holidays I've gone on where I have stressed it and I've put actual photos in there, and that's because it was much better for me to get all of my information in as photos than it was for me to try and write it all out. Like, this is when Stella and I went to Japan. I wanted to be able to get all of those memories in there, not just like whatever I could fit in that little section. But I do lots of drawings in here as well. This is when I took this journal to the Tobichi store in Kyoto, which is where I got this cover. This is one of the Hobonichi Techo covers for the A5 journal. That's what it says on the front. Yeah, I just wanted to get one of the ones that was made for it because it's a very specific size, and I didn't know if the other ones would fit. But really, really happy that I had this. I'm really happy this was kind of my gateway into it. I kept the box that it came in, the cover. I used to put it in the yellow box that it came in, but now the cover wouldn't fit in it, so now I have it in the covers box. And I have lots of stickers and patches that I just collect throughout time and space. I just put them in here, so it's kind of like my little travel case for it. Keeps it nice and protected. I'm not super precious about journals like that, but I do like that this has a home for it, which is why I got some other stuff for this too. We can unbox that as well. All of that to say, I entered the Hobonichi world with this and super satisfied with it, very, very happy with it. This serves a very specific function, and I love to keep this separate of everything. But what I was finding was that this journal really was kind of going to the wayside. So I eventually decided that after I stopped using my sketch planner, I started using my traveler's notebook, and I used the free weekly planners. That's what they're called. I used the free weekly planners to be able to document all the stuff that I needed to keep track of, because I have a million things going at once. So, I mean, this is just like video schedule stuff. So there's just a lot that I have to keep track of, let alone projects and work that I'm doing for other people. Like, I need a place to be able to see everything. And whilst this was the second orientation I used. I had a vertical one, which I thought was good. I wanted to try the horizontal orientation, which I think is also good. The pros and cons for me are a little different. I don't mind having them this way. I wish it was easier for me to reference a month at a glance. I don't like this. There's not enough space for me to put what is actually happening, so that's why it was kind of just video stuff. Some other stuff I tried to put up here, but this was not enough of a monthly look for me. So I'm curious to see what it looks like in here, because this is what I want to use this as a hybrid planner meets journal, so that I can ditch this and ditch the Wheneverly journal and combine both of them. Does that make sense? I don't even need to do that. As I'm saying it out loud, I'm like, why did I do this? I'm gonna give it a red hot go. If it doesn't work, we'll find another purpose for it, which I'll show you in a second, because I am using other Hobonichis for other things. But even this, I mean, I put my stuff in here, so I don't exclusively use the planner as a planner. There are times I'll swatch stuff out in here, or I'll put photos in here, just random little bits and pieces, stickers, things that I have lying around that don't have a home, new product, little test prints. I just like to keep a track of all of this. So I'm not looking to get rid of my planner just so that I don't have to plan anymore. I'm actually busier than I've ever been in my whole entire life, so I do need the planner, but I don't necessarily think I want to commit to this. The best thing about the free weekly is that it's undated, so you can come back to this whenever you want. My other one I actually took a break from, and then I came back to it, and you would never know because it goes all the way through. So this one has like maybe 2 months left in it, if that. How many weeks? Because I'm at here. Sometimes I divide them too. Like I can get 2 weeks. I could even get 4 weeks if I wanted to on this spread. But I will do, like if this was just 1 week, then we've got technically 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, so there's about 8 weeks, about 2 months left in this planner. So I might come back to it if I need to. I do like it because I keep my business cards in here, and I've also got this, I can't really show you in here because there's lots of information that you're not allowed to see. But I've got this Tomoe River Traveler's Notebook insert that I keep so that I can work things out in here. I guess you can see the start. Once I was using this as the sketchbook, but I didn't like how Copic markers worked in it. Now I don't think I mind as much. It is a little transparent for me though. I work out my workshops in here, little teaching things. If I'm doing, the reason you can't see a lot of it in here is because I do a lot of my numbers and my calculations in here. This is kind of half an accounting book. It's boring anyway, but even planning like playtest Patreon and stuff, there's just a lot. There's a lot that I do use this for, so I'm kind of nervous to ditch it, but I won't ever ditch anything. It'll just be repurposed for something else. Which brings me to this. I know we haven't even got to the Hobonichi yet. I hope you're enjoying this, because I'm just chatting at this point. I could go for hours about journals. I'm guessing that anyone doesn't like this would have turned off already. This is upside down. This is a Sojourner, and this, I forgot exactly what this is called, but it's an A5, and maybe it's a traveler with this pocket, a designer pocket. I'm not quite sure. I forget how, I'm like terrible with all that stuff, but it's really, really beautiful, very, very soft. It's a travel, I used to have my travel journal in here, my Japanese one. So I was actually gifted the Hobonichi Techo Vec January to June, but I didn't get this until, I think it was, I don't know, maybe June was already over? No, maybe I had it just before then. I got it too late to actually use it as a planner, but it was actually a gift from a friend who said, I'm not going to use this, so please just use it for whatever you want. So there were a few pages in there, I just ripped them out, and I've used it ever since as a sketchbook and kind of a, I guess what people have been calling a glue book. I'm still not 100% sure what that is, but I'm going to say it anyway. Omni journal. That's what I've been using it for. It's scrap things that float around my desk, like all the little shapes I go through when I'm making the new concept stamp sets. Like some of these obviously didn't make it, but some of them definitely did. I just put them in here because I want to have reference to them. This is when I made my Japanese, my travel journal course. When we went to Japan, this was how I broke it down into sections and lessons to make sure I was on the right track. Lots of little, what are they called? Examples, bits and pieces of, you know, just examples for things. And sometimes I just play in here. Or sometimes people give me cards and I put the cards in here. So this is kind of a catch-all, and that's what I've been using it for. I do a lot of stamping in here as well, just working out ideas. So this has been fantastic, and this actually made me realize that I do love working the Hobonichi despite it having grid and numbers and thin paper. I guess when you approach something with this kind of like lack of intention, or not even, because I was purposeful about it, but I guess when you're thinking like, oh, it doesn't matter if I ruin this, you have a fantastic time in that journal. I've just found that out. I guess I should have known, and I probably have known, and I probably said it before, but just the freedom that I had to do whatever I wanted in this journal was really, really good for me. And I didn't see why I couldn't have this kind of a look married with the writing that would show up in these pages, because there are times where I will actually, I mean, I know I spent hours doing this, but there are times in here where I will spend a lot of time working on something. Like I will spend time drawing. And so if I had a list here of things to do that day, and then I had like a little bit of writing about my feelings, like that is a journal that I could totally get behind. And I think probably a truer, more accurate representation, wow, that was difficult. I don't even know if I said all those R's. It's a truer representation of what I would probably do if I didn't have myself spread over so many different journals. And I know I can blame it on me working in this industry all I want, but it's probably probably would have happened either way. I just really love them. They've all got something different going on. I know you know what I'm talking about, but I do use up a ton of journals. Like, you don't have to ask me twice to get involved in a journal. I will just use it up. So, this is where it brings me to this. I just thought, and you know, now I'm having a crazy thought that I probably should have bought A5. I thought, let me get something where I can make it the planner and the journal and the kind of glue whatever needs to be glued in here. I still have these journals for all the bigger pieces that could just be thrown in there at will. But like little stickers and little whatever, little bits and pieces, I just wanted a littler version that I could take with me to the couch, throw it in a bag, like do whatever, take this wherever I needed to go and do whatever I needed to do with it. That's just what I wanted. So this is the Hobonichi Techo 2020 original, A6 size, avec, July to December, and I will be using this as my kind of planner / wheneverly journal until the end of the year, hopefully, if things go well. The only thing I'm nervous about in here is the size, let's be real. It's really tiny. And whilst that's great for filling a page, I also don't have that much of a problem filling a page. So I don't know. Let's just see how it goes. We've got the dates in here. This is kind of a month at a glance. So it's a vertical orientation. It goes from June this year until May next year. So I will find uses for things like June, July. I don't really need. So something could go on this page, right? And then August, I think I'm going to have to try and start transcribing stuff in here for August, September, and October, because I do have lots of dates that I need to keep in mind. But yeah, I mean, I guess it's not really much different to the free weekly that I was using, in the sense that it's a really small space and it's a vertical column. Even the space up here, I mean, it's a tiny bit bigger than what I had, but not really, because it's a small journal. So I possibly haven't given myself the best start with that monthly look. Oh no, here it is. This is what I wanted. Sorry, spoke too soon. This is what I wanted, the month at a glance. I know they're small boxes, but this visual of a month is so much easier for me to comprehend than that vertical list. So this is exactly what I wanted. Find something to do for those 2 pages and we'll start here. I don't know if I'll do any of this on camera, but I will definitely chat your ear off while I flip through this, because I haven't seen it. This is what I wanted, a month at a glance. This goes right into 2021, so we should be good. I think this is great, so that if you have any of that crossover period where your new journal hasn't turned up yet, but I will definitely have a look. I think September 1st, 2nd, and 3rd, Hobonichi is starting to sell. They're staggering the sale dates of different items so that they don't overwhelm their servers, but 1st, 2nd, and 3rd, they're going to start selling, so I'll have a look. I will most likely choose an avec either way. A5 maybe, I don't know. We'll see if I can't get a good feel for this in the next couple of weeks. But yeah, I will definitely have a look. I want a cover, I know that much. I do have a cover. Oh, that's what I was going to do. I have a secondary unboxing or unbubble mailering. I got this the other day from JetPens. I buy these because it's so much easier than glue. Although I do find them to be a little bit wasteful. This is a Hanko Nori, which is like a stamp glue. You can kind of use it like a glue runner as well, but also it's like a stamp, and it'll stamp apparently like a little patch of glue. So I want that just for like tacking things down. I got this is a little, what one is this? Oh, the Uni Style Fit 0.28 refill, because believe it or not, first of all, I broke this pen. This is my Uni Style Fit, and it's the Tinkerbell one. Absolutely cracked it across here. This is why I can't have anything nice. It's fine, I put some little washi tape over it. It's actually a nice little finger grip now. The black is so low. I don't know if you can see that. It's so low, so I had to buy a new one. So I'm curious if I just used this a lot, or if that's just not a lot of ink. anyway, need to be refilled. So I got that. Black is the most important color in that pen, so I really needed that quickly. I also got this from JetPens, and it is the MD paper cover. So I'm excited to see. This is Midori, but apparently they said it would fit. I just wanted a paper cover just to keep it protected for now. I could also collage over the front of it. Get that little cardboard out of the way. Take this off. It's got a little embossed logo just there. I might leave that cardboard in because I like how rigid it is. Also, this is a very rigid... I was actually surprised. The first time I had a Hobonichi, I didn't realize how stiff the outside of their covers are, but that makes them very, very sturdy. I'm going to put this in here. Riveting content. I hope it fits. Okay, there you go. There's the front. Oh, fantastic. It's in there. I've got it in there with the other cardboard. It's a little squeaky. But I want it to be extra stiff. I like how stiff that feels. It just feels more sturdy. It's almost like it's like a hybrid soft cover, hard cover. It has the feel of a really hard soft cover. How many more times can I say that in a confusing way? I like this because it lies flat as well. That's really nice. Okay, so where was I? Monthly pages. Those will be great. I just want to see how it transitions from month at a glance. Okay, turning the page. So these are notes. We've got a kind of a dashboard of sorts where we introduce the month. So this is July. This is already passed. So these can just be sketches or whatever I want to do in here. July and August is pretty much coming to an end as well. And these are days, just one day at a time. That show. All right. Well, that's all I kind of need to know. I won't use the time down the side, and I don't track like moon phases, or I don't track anything really other than work. I like that there is the convenience of knowing which month you're turning to with these little colored sections on the side. So this is technically where we're going to start, somewhere around here. By the time you see this video, it might be next week. So I don't know, maybe I'll try and work in some of this on camera so you can see some of it. This video is going to be so long. Sorry. I'm not sorry. If I was sorry, I would have done something about it. I shouldn't lie like that. All right, so I'm gonna get cracking in this. I'm excited. I'm excited to see what... I mean, who's not excited, right? When we ever get something new. That's why it's terrible. I shouldn't show you this. I know there's someone out there who's going to be like very, very tempted to buy something new. Please don't buy this just because I've shown it. Only buy it if you want it and you think it's going to enrich your life in some way. I'm not endorsing Hobonichi. I do love the 5-year planner. I find great use for the 5-year planner, but I am still testing this out. This may not work very well for me. I'm taking a big risk, combining what literally lives in these 3 journals and putting... Oh, wait, wrong one. Oh, yeah, no, this is it. In these 3 journals, I'm trying to put it into one. Like this, all of this is now being taken to here. This teeny tiny little thing. You know, I think it actually speaks volumes. If you've read my journaling lately... Oh, Coke Zero falling. I've been looking to just, like, simplify everything. So maybe this is like me having a midlife crisis. Journaling style. Here's a graph paper. Timetable, wouldn't use that, not in school. Have no plans to go back to school. Ooh, my 100, a list of 100 things. Don't know what I would put there. This looks like a little, like how-to. Some little options on making everything look pretty. Ooh, some facts. And just lots of information in Japanese. I read a little bit of Japanese, but not enough to understand all of that. You could always get your Translate app on your phone, but I just don't think the information is really going to do much by way of, you know, helping me plan better or journal better. So I'll leave it, or I'll cover it up with something. I like the look of it. I used to live in Japan, so it always makes me feel nice and nostalgic when I see the Japanese everywhere. Anyway, that is everything for this. I will probably put some stickers and collage stuff over here. I hope that squeaking stops. That's actually a little bit annoying. If it doesn't, I'll just take out the other cardboard. Oh, can you hear that? It sounds like a squeaky leather couch or something. No, that's got to go. No, I don't know. Yep. I'm taking it out. I can't bear it. What if it was the actual Hobonichi and not this? Okay, this should be better. Yeah, there you go. It doesn't have such a rigid feel anymore. It's just more of a soft cover now, but still nice. Yeah, oh, I love it. This is a paper cover though, so it's gonna get really tore up. I need to put something over the top. I will, if this video stops here, that's all it is. And I've had a great time talking to you about this. I'm very excited. If it keeps going, then I have decided to take some footage of me giving this a red hot go for the next week. Which I'm kind of thinking I might. I don't know, I'm not going to plan it, and I'm not going to promise anything right now, just because I don't know. But yeah, I'm really excited to work in it. For Hobonichi people, are you planning, like, do you know what you're getting for next year? Have you been working on a system that's been working for you, you're not going to change it? Are you looking to change it? If you're someone like me that has a million different journals for a million different things, does consolidating ever cross your mind? Is it something that seems really appealing, or have you done it and found it to be not all that it's cracked up to be? I'm not getting rid of all my other journals. I don't get rid of journals. They stay around, and some of them cycle back through. Like one of them here, this is a good example of why I don't care to change things and to kind of move everything around, because there's a real benefit to it. I think if you're having this yearning to change something, it's not a bad thing. Like, you can actually grow from the experience, and then some journals need to be for something specific, just so you can kind of grow in a specific way, I guess. And this is a great example of that. This was my off-camera journal that I started back in 2018, and I had noticed that almost all the journaling I had been doing was being online. Like, it was just being either Instagrammed or YouTubed or Facebooked, or like, it was always for something, and I found it exhausting. This was also before I implemented like kind of stricter boundaries with how often I would upload and when I would upload and what types of videos I would do. So I just found myself running myself into the ground all the time and never actually working on anything for myself. So I felt like my growth was a little stunted. I still felt like I was doing a lot, so I was growing just by proxy, but in a very intentional way that I wanted to grow in certain areas. It just wasn't happening the way I wanted it to. And so taking a very specific book and saying, you know what, I'm going to work in this, but it cannot be filmed. Like, this is not for YouTube. So no one ever saw me working in this journal, and I would just try different things that ended up becoming different lessons that I would teach on YouTube anyway. But I could keep this really personal for myself, and I would spend unfortunately, I would spend a lot more time in here than I would spend in my other journals, because it became a really good release, a really good way to commit myself to working on things for myself, which you wouldn't think would be a problem, especially when you have the freedom to do whatever you want to do because it's your channel and you can do it. Sometimes you lose your way a bit, you lose the intention to just like do what you're passionate about, because either the algorithm starts to make you feel like you should be doing something else, or people tell you you should be doing something else, or some people encourage you to do something else. And I mean, some of it's good, some of it's bad, but at the end of the day, I had to literally remind myself, like, you know, it's great that I'm sharing a lot. It's great that I make a lot of videos, or that I share a lot of what I'm enjoying. But there has to be a moment where I turn everything off and I'm doing this just for myself, because I actually need to protect the passion that I have for it. I saw that in dance when there were times where I was just dancing and I was making money and I loved it, but a lot of my passion for dance was starting to leave a little bit, because, and I still enjoyed it, don't get me wrong, I love my job, I was very appreciative of my jobs, but the way that I used to dance when I was just dancing to dance, it just felt very different. You know, the pressure is off, you move in a different way, there's no choreography you have to get perfect. You can try new things, and when you're trying new things and you're feeling safe to fail at them because there's no consequences, you can actually find yourself growing a lot quicker and in a lot more exciting ways. I used to keep myself just really kind of safe because I didn't want to make YouTube videos that showed that I wasn't good at anything. So where was I being safe to like experiment and explore? I don't know, just like the random few times I would work off camera while I was preparing things. But this specifically intentionally became a journal where I could just work off camera, no pressure, and just see what happened. And a lot of different things happened in here. A lot of play happened in here. that was very, very valuable, very useful, and I was all the better for it. And this, yeah, not only did I grow through this experience, but I actually found that it was more helpful to take a step back from putting everything on YouTube, actually play and find out what I'm loving in the moment, and then share that intentionally. So that was a really nice turning point for me. But this technically, oh look, Winzuin, it's coming up soon. This journal only really exists for that purpose, so that I could take myself off video and just kind of indulge myself a little bit. And I think that was really, really key to a lot of the growth that happened during this period, which I'm very thankful for. And all of that to say, I mean, is this journal finished? No. And do you know why? Because this was where I got to, and I thought, you know what? I'm good. I'm good with this for now. I'll come back to this whenever I come back to it. But it was right towards the end. I was getting across this this section here where it kind of humps over. You can just take the book and push it back on itself, but the binding is kind of a little bit difficult to do that with, and you don't want to do that too many times because you might break it. So I actually just moved on to other journals once I had realized and learnt, and it took all of this to learn, that I could create offline and it still be just as important, just as valid, just as good. I started doing it with all kinds of journals. I would do it in here, and I would do whatever I wanted to do offline. I would do it in here, and I would do, most of this was done off camera. I would, yeah, I mean, anywhere I would do it. I finally had learned that skill. So journals for me aren't just one of those things where, you know, I find the size I like, I find the paper I like, and then I commit to it for the rest of my life. Sometimes I introduce new things just because there's a period of my life that needs it, and I either need the change, or I need the format to be different, or I need the expectation to change. And this, I think, is really going to not only help me with those monthly views. What is going on out there? Steve, is that you? I thought that was a cat. Sorry. I think Steve was in the fridge getting chicken out of a plastic container. I thought it was the cat. This is what I need. I need the monthly view. I need something where I can consolidate, because I don't like... I don't feel guilty that those journals are separate. I just don't like that they're not being utilized well. So there may come a time where I have more time, maybe next year, at the start of next year, or after the busy season, I will have more time to return to some of those things and work at them a little bit more, and do what I felt like was missing. But for now, yeah, I need to streamline a little bit, and I think this is going to be a really great option for that. I think. It may not be. It may be terrible. This could be the worst thing I've ever done, and I've just wasted hours of your life talking about it. But it's okay. I'm pretty accountable. When I've spent money on something, I will give it a really good go. And yeah, like I said, I'm not mad that some of these journals aren't finished, because I go back to them all the time. In fact, some of the stuff in here that I glue in here is quite recent. Well, this isn't most recent. I think this was around January. Yeah, I think I did this around January this year. So this has been utilized. This started in 2018, but 2020 it's still being pulled out. So I don't mind. I mean, this one is finished. This one is entirely finished. There's nothing else I need to put in here. But I'm excited. I am really excited. I don't have any special accessories, no pen loops, nothing. I have an HB sprocket, but I tend not to use that while I'm at home, because I can print from my computer a lot cheaper and with a lot more clarity and color consistency. So I have these little glossy 4x6s I put in my printer. I can print straight from my phone, and I usually do a pick stitch, so that's probably how I'll get some photos in here. I do have some water-based markers that I like to use in Hobonichis, so I've got the Zebra Mildliner brush markers. I have the regular set as well, but I typically use the brush markers over those. I have the the Tombow dual brush markers. I have some of these as well. These were from Miniso. These were like a really cheap, I guess, private label brush that Miniso had a version of. I also have the Kuretake Zig Clean Color Dot. Love these as well. I have some of the other ones too. The Zig Clean Color Real Brush. The Kuretake is really good for this as well. And these, I probably wouldn't need more than that, but I kind of collect them slowly. I usually buy just singles of things now. I know sets are more economical, but You would be surprised how much of the set that I don't use. So I typically just buy the colors that I fancy at that moment. And yeah, I think that'd be it. Watercolor, I can watercolor in here. It'll crinkle up. I don't so much mind putting washi and stickers in here. It's super thin, so I can bulk this up an incredible amount, I assume. It might be like this thick by the end of it. But it's only half a year, which is, it's going to be much better for the way that I like to work. I don't want to feel like I can't put what I want to put in here. And I don't want to have to cut the book in half and make it new books out of it. I don't want to have to abandon it halfway through. So half is definitely better for me. Because even this one, this is the Avec, and I've still got this much left. But just from all the gluing that I've been doing in it, like, it bulks up a lot. And these are probably started about the same width. This one might have been a little bit thicker. It does bulk up. Even when you watercolor in it, you can see the pages crinkle. That makes its own extra little bit of bulk. But when you really think about it, I have, if I'm going to consolidate, then I have this and this and this kind of all becoming one. Like, I can technically make it this thick before I haven't really consolidated it at all. So, you know, that's kind of impossible at this point. I'm just excited. I'm really excited to work in it. I hope I do some good filming for you and show you some of the setup. I really hope there's clips after this. Otherwise, I've just talked to you about a blank journal, which, you know, it wouldn't be the first time it's been done. I'll leave you there. Thank you for watching this unboxing and for watching me struggle to get this cover on, and for listening to me talk about my Hobonichi journey so far. I look forward to sharing more of it with you on YouTube and on Instagram. Until then, bye. There are extra clips I did film in it, so I'm going to go through just some of how I've started working in my new Hobonichi. And I'm glad that I did, actually, because it is coming up on the week where they're going to start selling the 2021 lineup. And I mean, I know a week isn't a long time to play in anything, but I think I'm committed to it. I'm going to keep doing this for the rest of the year, and I will purchase, hopefully, there's a cover I think I really want, but it's only in a lottery sale, so who knows if I'll be able to get that. Or maybe I'll think about getting one of those fluffy teddy bear covers, which Steve really doesn't like the idea of. But it's not like I take it out anywhere. Maybe I will. Maybe I'll get one of those covers, but I think I will stay with the A6. I've worked in it for over a week now, and I'm fine with it. I really thought it was too small to begin with, but I don't know. It just actually kind of seems like a really nice size to be able to just do something that is, I guess, not quick. I've got to be careful how I say this, because sometimes I think when people say, oh, I could just fill a page really quickly and it was really easy to get it done, it kind of implies that the journaling is a chore and that it has to be done really quickly and you have to get it out of the way. It's certainly not. I know some people really worry about filling a page because they don't like to leave empty spaces because they feel like it looks or feels unfinished, and therefore maybe a waste of paper, or I don't know. Some people do care about that. But for me, it is a really manageable size to be able to work on just in a day, but not going to take up like 7 hours to do it, which was important because my purpose for doing this, my intention was to consolidate so that I could save a bit of time and work on both things, my planner and my kind of wheneverly journal, in the one place. So I think it does work for me for the intention that I have for it. And yeah, I'll stick with the A6 for next year. And see, well, I'll get the Avec, which I think it comes with both. I think it comes with the first half of the year and the second half. So I'll possibly be committing to a year of it. But if not, if it doesn't work out, it will turn into a sketchbook. I think you already saw in the start of this video that if I don't use the Hobonichi for a Hobonichi, it becomes a glue-all omni-journal sketchbook, whatever you want to call it. So I'm not opposed to turning one of them into a sketchbook. I do like the paper, and I enjoy having one of those sketchbooks you can just play in. Do you know what I mean? It's, yeah. And A6 is a really interesting size too. I kind of like drawing a little smaller, and it works really, really well with my 4x6 stamp sets, which I kind of knew anyway because I designed those so that I could use them in journals and planners, and especially my Hobonichi 5-year techo, so that it's the same size. It should have worked, but I don't know why I was like, oh wow, this works. All over again. So I think you can see I've been putting lots of photos in there. Like I said before, I have a 4x6 glossy paper in my printer. They're just ready to go so I can airdrop from my phone to the printer from PicStitch. But I forgot to mention it's sticker paper. It's a Japanese brand, label A1. I have it linked in my Amazon store front that's linked in the description below if you want to go and check that out. It should still be there. It was there the last time I checked, but I use a glossy sticker paper. That way I don't have to glue anything in, which is really good because I'm really messy with glue. I like to glue every corner and every edge, which usually means there's glue all over the page. So I like to just print my photos on the label paper, the sticky. Some of them is label paper, some of them are like specifically for photo quality, but they've got adhesive backing. I prefer those ones because they usually do a much better job. But I have noticed printing from my computer to the printer, much better quality than printing from my phone to the printer. And that's because my phone doesn't have any of the printer profiles, and it doesn't send across like, print it at photo quality in high resolution. You think it would, but even the color control from my phone sends across a really weird dark color profile. So if I can manage it, I'll print them from my computer. But also, this is one of those journals where it's like, if I've got the photo in there, I've got the photo in there. I'm not going to care if it's just a little dark. I could just lighten it up, I guess, before I press print. Here I'm taking my 2 different stamp sets. I've got the 6x8 Concepts 2 for the face, and then I've got the doll parts. I've got the little one for the body. I wanted to mix those two together to kind of create the... what's it called? The style? Nope. The silhouette? The proportions, that's it. I wanted to get the proportions of some of these little illustrations, not illustrations, paintings that I saw in Tim Burton's movie Big Eyes. Margaret Keane's really, really popular big-eyed waifs. And I wanted to just draw that because I'd watched that movie. I really like that movie. It's kind of weird for a Tim Burton movie. It's not... I mean, it's kind of dark, and it's got like lots of Tim Burton staples in it, but... It's kind of a movie where I'm not going to say not much happens. There's certainly things that happen, but it's kind of slow watching, kind of easy watching for me. And every time I watch it, all I want to do is pick up a paintbrush or pick up a pencil and just like do something, just draw and paint. So I kind of watch that from time to time, and I just get that urge, and you're literally seeing it happen on camera. So glad I could film that for you this week. Got my little alphabet stamps that I like to just put my headings on with, or just stamp out little things. Lots of little journaling. I found myself writing in this, which is nice. I decided to put some stickers on the front cover just so it wasn't plain. I don't like anything to be plain these days. That's when it feels too precious, too clean, and that's when I start getting nervous that I'm going to get a big smudge on it, or I'm going to scratch it somehow. So I've taken to putting stickers on everything or just drawing over everything at this point. And I go through phases. That's not who I am as a person. Like, I'm not just put stickers on everything. Sometimes I do want it to be clean and neat and tidy. Actually, my 5U Hobonichi stays in that cover, so I guess I don't want that cover to get ruined. But as soon as I say that, then I know I'm gonna get nervous that I will. So I'll keep it loose. I'm also putting these craft stickers on, which I just color with some Tombow marker and white gel pen just to customize them a little bit. Those were from, I think, the first 500. I believe so. Well, back in Playtest Patreon days when I did those journal inserts, the first 500 of those came with these double sheets of craft stickers that you could customize. But I had a lot left over, and so I used to give them out to Etsy orders that bought the journals, but then they were all gone. So I still have a bunch. Kind of all the ones that were bent on the corner or had a bit of a printing error. It's funny because I always have my stuff. By the time I see it, I've seen it a million times, and I usually am over it by that point. Like, I like it. I think it's good, but it's not, the novelty is completely worn off a month later when I finally get the shipment in. And so I have to remind myself to use the things that I have designed and printed and put work into and bought for the store, just so that I can use them at some point. Because I'll go through my journals and I'll never see evidence that I ever had them or used them because I'm so over it by the time I get it. And not over it as in they're bad, but you know what I mean? If you've done any kind of product, I could call it, what is it called? Merchandising? Or you've any kind of product manufacturing or development, you'll know that things go through so many phases. By the time you actually see the product, you felt like you've seen it for months already. So making a real effort to get some of my own merchandise into my journals. You wouldn't think you'd have to, but I'm making a literal effort to do that at this point. I'm also documenting a few little things from my day. This is when you can start to see it become the planner that I was talking about, because there's a to-do list on that page right next to a little drawing. And I went on a bit of a mad photo printing bender because Steve has just received lots of like, what do you call it, equipment, but in the house it's as if we have our own portrait studio now, and it's literally all set up at this point. You can't even move in here. But he was setting it all up, and he took the most insanely over-the-top portraits of the cats on this vintage trunk with a ladder behind them and the plants. He's just been practicing a lot of the lighting, so I usually do his light tests, and he gives me those photos, so I print them as well. There's my little to-do list. So this is how I envisioned this planner would go. Little bits of drawing, little bits of stickers and washi and photos, and lists of things to do. Lists on the days, because I use those as dailies. But then referring back to my month at a glance to make sure that I am on track, which I will say I've had a really good week. It's been hectic. Like, there's been a lot going on, and I did reschedule some things for myself anyway, but I for the most part, like, the planner did keep me on track. I haven't missed anything. So I think that is the purpose of a planner. So can I say it was successful for the first week? I think so. I don't know. Is that something people even care about? I'm not trying to review this whole system and my whole, like, theory and on planning. I think if planning works for you, it works for you. What are you going to do, right? I don't know. All I can say is I like the book. I like the paper. I liked using it. I had a good week and it worked. So take that for what you will. Are any of you, I think I've asked this already, but is anyone really planning on getting in on that Hobonichi 2021 lineup? And if so, now that it's all released, what are you thinking you might get? Like I said, I want the cover that's on the lottery. It looks like a patchworky kind of cover of these really interesting textiles. That's the one I want. I forgot what it's called, but that's the one that I'm going to try and get. Otherwise, maybe one of those fluffy ones, but I don't know. I only want that because it matches my fluffy pencil case as well, but I just think that's a lot. Just be carrying around just all this faux fur stationery. I mean, it really speaks to that younger version of myself. Actually, once upon a time, fun side tangent, I'm doing a little bit of stamp and illustration here because we had that workshop on that day, so I'm just doing a mini version with my 4x6 stamp set. There you go. Let you know what I'm doing. Before I go on my side tangent, I used to make presents for people when I was younger. I kind of still do sometimes. I make them for Steve a lot. But when I was younger, I would make presents for people because I thought it was a lot more fun, and a lot of the time, like, I didn't get pocket money or anything, and so I didn't want to have to ask my mum to go and buy, like, presents for my friends when I was going to their parties, so I would just say, I'll make it. And my gran was usually pretty good for supplying me with whatever stock I needed. So we would go to Spotlight and I would get faux fur and cover notebooks in faux fur and then write inside of them like all my favorite things about that friend and do little pictures in there. It was like I was giving them a faux fur journal that I had handmade. I don't know why that just popped into my head, but maybe I've had a thing for faux fur stationery. Wow, stationery all along. Oh, fun fact, tip. If you're stamping something and it's a certain, like, it's a long word and you don't know how it's going to be composed on the page, especially because it's not an acrylic stamp, those were like little handheld individual rubber stamps, I usually start from the right and stamp the last letter and spell the whole thing backwards. That way I can get it right up to the right hand side of the page and compose it really nicely, like so that it's aligned with the edge of the page or the middle, the gutter of the book. And then stamp it backwards. Sometimes I have to write the word out because I'm not good at spelling backwards. Steve's actually really good at spelling backwards. I didn't know it was a skill you could have until I heard him do it. But yeah, I would do that just so that I could make it line up really nicely. I know some of these tips sound obvious, but they're not obvious if you've never heard them and you've never thought of it. So it bears mentioning. Here is my little ode to my 30th birthday. Lots of photos here that I printed out. I'm going for a Wizard of Oz theme because that's this theme that Steve surprised me with for my birthday. Oh, you'll see this in the end. I used my heat tool because I was putting some watercolor on this and I completely shriveled up that number 30 Mylar gold foil thing. So I had to pull the whole thing out, but luckily I'm such a hoarder. I took one of the extra ones. I had a silver one as well because I knew I had multiple journals I want to put it in. So I just replaced it for another one. And this is where grabbing, I know it's tough because I know you're already probably telling yourself, I don't need to grab as many things as you do, because you might ruin something and then you'll have a backup. I'm literal proof for it today. Why are you laughing? Steve's laughing at me. Is it me or someone else? He's laughing that I shriveled up there. I was really upset too. I left my hands in the video so you can see my crisis that I had. I tried to act it out to the camera with my hands. Oh, I drew my shirts. I didn't tell anyone this, but I've got a new Amazon merch. It's once again, I've been disrespected. Wow. I can't speak. Interscram. Once again, I have been disrespected in my craft room. I have that available now. I think I have it in a hoodie and t-shirts at this point, and I have a couple of t-shirts. I'm wearing one right now. So that was a bit of an inside joke that we had on our Instagram lives, and Amazon Merch has finally decided to let me approve those designs. I don't know what was going on. It was really hard to get back into the swing of that merch, so I'll see if I can put it on any other products. But yeah, for now, if you want a hoodie or a t-shirt that says that specific quote, it should be on my Amazon storefront down in the description box below. Oh, I'm going to sneeze. I can't. I'm almost at the end of the video. I can't have a sneezing attack now. These are my new washi tapes that came in. These are the 4 from Virtual Voyage. I wanted to put those in there because I think those have got the most going on, and I couldn't document all 13 of the tapes that had arrived on that page. So you can see, if you did Virtual Voyage, you'll recognize each of those as the weeks, the different ports of inspiration, and I am obsessed. They turned out so well, and it's just a real crack to see Steve and myself on these washi tapes. Like, who gave me the right? Who told me to put myself on a washi tape? I would, though. I'm doing this page here to kind of document the work that I was putting together for the Wizarding Artists Society, which I taught last night. Thank you again for being there and for having a wonderful time with me. I taught fairy wings, so I literally said last night it was only a matter of time before I made everyone do something fairy adjacent. Fairies being one of my other big time inspirations since I was a kid. So that was really, really fun. I wanted to document that as well. I actually really like the A6 size for this because I used to document in my Hobonichi. It's even smaller, my 5-year, because it's a really tiny passage and I've got to fit 5 years worth on one page. But this is one page to a day, like one A6 page to a day. So I feel like I can do an illustration or a little painting that is small enough to be time efficient, but large enough to actually enjoy doing. Like, it's not a tiny little stick figure in the corner. It's something of substance, and I just think it's a really good size for me at this point. Here comes the... Oh, I used the Over the Rainbow washi tape from Virtual Voyage to decorate this page. I was specifically waiting for this washi tape to come in, knowing what it looked like and knowing that it would really help with this page layout. I don't know why I've never tried to be that extra with a journal. Well, I have, but not recently. I'm not usually that extra with the journal page. Here I go. Watch this whole thing. I didn't even realize as I was doing it. There it goes. It just starts shriveling up. And then I try to save it, thinking that if it's still hot, I can pull it apart and flatten it. Oh, it was stuck in there really well, but it also peeled up really well. So I don't know. I'm half in two minds about that double-sided tape. Like, was it good or was it bad? I don't know. So I put the silver 30 in. Like I said, I made sure I had a couple, and that's it for me. I'll share more of these photos on Instagram, but until next time, bye.